Hello and welcome to not dishing, but we're going to be talking about something, so I'm going to call it dishing anyways. Not going to be doing the dishes over here because my wife has been on a cleaning spree lately, and they're all done. So we're going to be talking about a topic though, so don't worry about that. Now, the first thing I want to show you is we had two guest rooms in this house. It's a 3-bedroom, and there's two of us, so we had 2 extra rooms. And having 2 guest rooms, it was kind of crazy. It was a wasted space with the extra bed. So we kept the fancy guest room and totally made the arcade room into something really cool now. So I'm going to show that off first, and then we're going to talk about a subject in there. So I've already got the command activated, and here we go. So over here we got, the messy kind of closet where I store stuff, some Switch games and stuff like that, Doc Brown there, all kinds of neat little oddities. Arcade games, of course. We've all seen these before. And got some lights going up in here. Got bulbs that are blue going. That's the theme, the color I like. And now we have the desk area. The wife's area, of course, is all ladylike and plants and things like that. Room for the dog or the dogs, I should say. Little area for them to lay down. And then my geeky area, complete with working lamp and everything. And I think today we're going to be talking about childhood video game memories. So that would be a very cool topic to talk about in here. So let's go ahead and let's talk about that right now. I have older siblings, and growing up, the first console I ever played was the Atari 2600. I think it was like 3 or 4 playing this thing, and I remember pulling it out of the closet. It was in a box of games upstairs, and I remember pulling it out, and we played, Superman, Pac-Man, Donkey Kong, Pitfall on it. I remember the neat thing about the Atari 2600 was that anybody could play. It was a joystick and a button. There wasn't much else to it. And sorry about the lower video quality. I switched cameras during the transition thing from sitting down, so I know it's a little bit different. Just bear with me as I get this all set up. Anyways, so the neat thing about, like I was saying about the Atari, was that anybody could play it. And I remember playing it with my father. It was me and one of my older brothers, and we were playing Pac-Man. And he kept saying, "Psych him out, Dad, psych him out." And I don't know if you've ever seen the original Pac-Man on the 2600. It was not the arcade version. It was this weird shaped box compared to the arcade version. But you know what? I honestly prefer it over the arcade version because that's what I grew up playing. No, it's not the best, and it flickers like crazy. But it's still a pretty fun game to play, only because of the memories for me, I guess is what I would say. Pitfall in the 2600, another great game. Hero was a phenomenal Atari 2600 game, and a kind of a rare one now. And then, of course, you have things like Miss Pac-Man that were way better on the Atari 2600 than Pac-Man version, technologically speaking. But yeah, we used to play those a lot. And Superman, where you build the bridge. Lex Luthor blows up like a bridge in Metropolis, and Superman has to get like 3 pieces of it back. Anyways, that was one of the memories of that time, the Atari 2600. And then we got the NES. Well, we didn't. My older brother bought one, and I remember playing Mario for the first time, Super Mario Brothers, and wow, had never seen anything like that before. And trying to jump over the flagpole and doing that little trick. I think it's in World 3 where you can bounce on the Koopa 100 billion times and get like one up after one up. And watching my brother finally beat it for the first time. Things like that. I mean, these kind of memories are things, they're part of my childhood. They're as ubiquitous as, going to grandma's house and things like that. Speaking of grandmas, even my grandmother got in on gaming at that point. So, little fact about me, I've only ever met one biological grandparent. The others have either died long before I was around or had gotten divorced and lived far, far away as I hit my mic. Anyways, my grandmother, I think it was my uncle, got like a a NES there, and she was crazy about Tetris. She would sit up all night and play Tetris. And I tell you what, if you would sit there and you'd play it in front of her and you'd get it wrong, she would like, give me that controller, and she'd try to fix it. It was kind of crazy. The way that she would play it, it was very comical. Figured I'd turn on an extra light. Maybe it'll help. Maybe it won't. Anyways, and then I remember going and let's see. Well, we would play Tecmo Bowl on the NES. My one brother really enjoys that game. I mean, he loves Tecmo Bowl, and I mean, who's to blame him? It is a phenomenal game. It really is. There's a reason it's on the NES Mini. Now, I'm more of a fan of Tecmo Bowl and not Tecmo Super Bowl that came out later, but they're both really good games. So we played the NES, and then the Genesis came out, and I remember seeing how Sonic the Hedgehog looked, and it was incredible how it looked. The colors, my goodness, and the speed that little guy ran. And I remember being at like a crowded KB Toys or something like that, and there being a crowd of people. I don't remember why, but my brother going, which one, this one or a Super Nintendo or a Genesis or something like that, and I said Genesis because I think that's what he was getting anyways or something. But I remember going home and playing Sonic and being like, wow, this is crazy. This is really cool. I wasn't really one of those guys that said I have a Genesis, but I feel like I made a mistake and should have bought a SNES. Really, to be honest with you, the only game on the SNES that I ever really wanted to play was Super Mario World, just because I am a Mario fan, but the other games on it, I prefer the Sunset Riders version on the Genesis. I know that's heresy, but it is what it is. Genesis did have a lot of good games, though. Road Rash, Streets of Rage. I mean, there's just a phenomenal set of games on the Genesis. Did it not as sound good as the SNES? Well, that's debatable. It depends on the game. Some of the games sound great. Streets of Rage sounds amazing. You just had to work with the hardware correctly. So it's a really good question as to what sounds good and what doesn't. That is, I think, preferable. Sure, the SNES was a more capable, like, color-wise machine, but the Genesis, I don't know. It seemed to be a little more edgier and stuff. That's just my take on it. The SNES had a really good sound chip, though, from Sony, so it did sound good. It sounded orchestral compared to the twanginess of the Genesis. But that twanginess actually worked on certain games, like Road Rash sounds amazing. So, I mean, it's half dozen this, half dozen of the other. So another time that I'm thinking of gaming here is when my cousin got a Sega Saturn, and my brother bought one too. I remember playing Daytona USA and The Horde and what was there? Mortal Kombat 2. I forget what it was. It was Frank Thomas Big Hurt Baseball, a Stall. I remember Panzer Dragoon. I remember playing a lot of these on the Saturn between my cousin's house. Clockwork Knight. Between his house and between my brother's house. Whenever I think of Mortal Kombat 2, I think of the Saturn, and I think of my brother's first little starter home and playing it there on the TV along with Daytona USA. We had a lot of fun with the Saturn. It was a difficult beast. It was a different one. I used to have quite the Saturn collection, as you know. I don't anymore. Do I regret it? No, only the fact that games like Magic Knight Rayearth, which used to be $40, are now selling for $800 on eBay. As a collector myself, it really hurts me to see what people are doing just because of greed. They don't want to play these games. They just want to put them on a shelf and look at them. And I think that's sick. It was made to be played, not to have a profit made off of it. But, hey, it is a free country, so whatever you want to do. Anyways, another time in my life was, of course, the N64. That was the first time I was old enough to get a system and had a choice, and I picked the N64 because I wanted to play Mario 64, and I remember waiting. Walmart was getting 10 in our town, and I remember waiting there that cold 1996 morning with my mom, and 2 or 3 people were in line, and we were first in line. And we went to the electronics, and I wanted to put it on layaway because I couldn't buy it outright. I had to pay it off myself. And we put it on layaway and put Mario, or I was just wanting to get the console. And my mom's like, well, you need a game to play with it. Why don't you get both of them? So we put both games, Mario 64 and Pilot Wings, on layaway. And to this day, both of those games hold a place right here in my heart, because Mario 64 is probably, in my opinion, the finest game ever made. It is the epitome of video game. It took something that was two-dimensional and flat and introduced us into the third dimension on how to play it. And it blew my mind how creative this world was. And Pilot Wings, I never knew I'd have so much fun in a flight simulator, but it was a really good game, and the music to this day I still love. I if you ever get a chance, go back to the N64 podcast episodes I did and listen to the one over Pilot Wings, especially for the music. Then after that, I mean, I bought a Dreamcast and whatever. I was becoming an adult, and it didn't matter at that point. I had money, so I could, I was working, I could buy stuff. Do I still get excited about video games today? I sure do. Mario Golf this year, it hasn't disappointed me. I was super excited for it, and I have played a lot of it, and I've played a lot of it with my wife. Now I get to share that interest with her. It's kind of nice, her having a desk over here, because we can share this room together. And yeah, she does play the arcades too, occasionally. It was kind of hard when there was a bed right here, but now that it's cleared out, I'm super excited. Next thing we're doing tonight is getting this stuff out of here. There's going to be some other stuff. This is just stuff that was like, not sure where to put it right now. We just did this yesterday, so I think it turned out pretty good. Now, am I going to upgrade the camera? Yes. This camera is proving to be kind of a liability at this point. But that's it for now. That's today's Dishin episode, if you will. I just wanted to try filming in here, and I really like it, so I might start doing some kind of a live streaming, playing something here. I have a newer computer set up, so I should be able to do that. But until next time, appreciate you guys for watching. Give me a like if you want to. Comment below what your favorite childhood memory of video games is. Click that subscribe button if you like content like this, or give me a suggestion. Tell me it sucks, and I'll change, whatever I need to. Sometimes I stream off of these. Last week I did a Sega Sunday. I was going to this week, but had some other stuff going on, so maybe I'll bring Sega Sunday back on next week. And the problem is, when I stream off of this cabinet, that's what I do it off of, the one right over here, I can't really be on the camera with it the way it's all set up, so it's kind of weird. I don't have a capture card. I might invest in one. I don't know. We'll see how this whole thing goes out. I'm not a big fan of streaming, but if you guys want to see that, that's what I'll do. But once again, good gaming, everybody.